Kirk Johnson. I'm president of the BMW Motorrad Club in Northern Illinois. In this do-it-yourself video, I want to show you the steps to go through when you change out the coolant on a K-bike. This bike that we're doing on today is the K1200LT. It's going to be similar to other K-bikes out there. The principles are going to be the same, place where you drain the coolant, stuff like that. You do have to remove the panels on the bike, so if you don't know how to do that, please check out one of my other videos. Also, you have to pull the gas tank off, or pull it back at least, in order to access the radiator cap. So I'm going to show you that procedure here. It always helps to have a little bit of a visual reference sometimes when you're working on these things. Watching somebody else do it, it helps a lot. It helps me. So anyways, I'll get started on this. If you want to rate and subscribe our video, please do so. And also, if you'd like to donate to our club, we certainly welcome the donations. We're a very small club up here in Northern Illinois. Thanks a lot, and I hope you enjoy it. So working on the left side of the bike here, right up in here is the radiator cap. You'll be able to get a long funnel down through here and be able to refill this thing. So I want to take off the radiator cap and just kind of set that up. So I'm going to take it off. There we go. Okay. So there, we took that off. Now this hose here goes off to the overflow tank, which is located underneath the passenger seat back here. And the way to get to that, you got the cap here. You have to remove the back seat, and you'll have to take off this battery cover as well as the side panel. So what we're going to do in order to drain this is I'm going to pull this hose off here, and then let it drop down, and it's going to drain into the bottom, and that will drain out the overflow tank. And it's one of the things you have to do. The other thing that you have to do here is underneath the bike, in order to drain the system out. I'm underneath the bike here. Here's your water pump, oil pump combination. The one that's furthest away here, or the one that's closest to the middle, I guess the lowest point on the bike. This is the radiator where you drain it out. So we're going to pull this cover off of here. This is the water temperature sensor. I'm going to pull this cover down, pull it away, and I'll put the camera down so you can see me do it. And then right underneath there, we're going to loosen that up, and it's going to drain all the fluid out. And then we'll refill the system. It's really not a very hard task to do, and with this little few tools, you can do it too. Here under the bike, we're going to take this cap off here, this little dust cap, and reveal the, you can see underneath here, there's a little spade type connector, and we'll pull that off. Okay, you see how that goes on? You just pull it backwards, and it pops off of there. Now we take our 14mm socket and just unscrew the sensor. So you got your pan ready, so it'll come flooding out of there. Trying to get this wire up out of the way so I don't get it all full of stuff. There we go. And there it is. So before you put this thing back in, you just want to make sure that the little washer is still there. It's not like stuck on there. Make sure it's still around. As soon as it's done dripping, we'll put it back in there and drain the other part of the system out. So now back up here, we're going to take off the drain hose, like I mentioned before. If you got little zip ties and stuff, you're going to have to clip those out of the way. And then loosen up this one, which I already did. And we're just going to pull it off and let it drain into the pan. and it'll drain out the overflow tank, the coolant tank. So just bring it below level here. Actually, I think I'm going to have to thread it around because it looks like it's up inside the engine cavity here. Yep, it is. You can see it back there behind this. So I'm going to have to get this out of here and thread it out and then drain it. But that's how you get the tank out. The other way too is you could blow it out with air if you've got an air compressor, which I do. Anyway, you can just pull off the cap here and then, you know, put your air hose in there and just kind of blow into it, and it'll empty out evacuate that tank very quickly. There it is. Now I got to put the sensor back in there, the water temperature sensor. Again, make sure you got your little ring on there. And this only goes down to 9 Newton meters. So have a good torque wrench and torque this thing down to 9 Newton meters. It doesn't take much. Believe me, it really feels like it's barely even in there, but you don't want to strip this thing out or get the threads cut. It's only brass going into aluminum, so it doesn't take a whole lot. Now, in order to put our antifreeze back in here, got to have a 50-50 mix of antifreeze and water. Good quality antifreeze, and obviously you're going to fill it here. You got to use a funnel, of course, but it really helps to take this. Right back here, there's a clamp that holds the top radiator hose on. If you loosen up this clamp and then stick an object like maybe a screwdriver or something up underneath it to create a little bit of an airspace, it really helps to be able to get the bubbles out of this system a lot better, like to burp the system out. Lets the air escape so that it doesn't sit there and bubble all the time up here and spill it all over the place. So the real question comes down to which antifreeze to use. You can get away with using a ethylene glycol mix, which is your typical green antifreeze. It doesn't really have quite the corrosion resistance properties as one that's specifically designed for aluminum engines or motorcycles, like the engine ice. This is a propylene glycol. It's just I think it's a little more. It doesn't have phosphates in it, so it's a little better for the environment, I guess, or something if it spills. It's not really a big concern of mine because it goes in my motorcycle. I usually don't drink it. Anyway, it's definitely more expensive. You know, half a gallon here is running like 20 bucks. So a lot cheaper to use the green, but this stuff is, I think it might work a little bit better, and it will definitely do a better job protecting the aluminum parts. So that's what I use. You use whatever you want. I'm just going to refill the system and burp it out as I go, and then once you get that totally filled up, you want to make sure you top off or fill up your coolant tank up to the max level, and then run the bike and warm it up to the point where you can feel the radiators are getting hot again, and then check that level again. And once it cools down, make sure you check your level in your tank. Make sure you look for leaks, all that stuff. Obviously you gotta close up this clamp again and stuff, but that's just a quick overview of how to take care of this. You can find all these procedures and stuff listed in the service manual. And thank you for watching this little video.